start by sharing my screen with you. And that looks like the right one. And we're going to be looking this week at some aspects of declare a play in a suit contract, about drawing trumps, ruffing, delaying drawing trumps, and things like that. But I want to start with a bidding question on this one. Assume that you're playing transfers and North, your partner, has opened 1 no trump. You bid 2 hearts as a transfer to spades, your partner bids 2 spades, and I've got the first poll of the afternoon, which is what should South bid now? So have a little think about what you would bid with that South hand, and in a moment I will launch a poll with the options. Okay, let's have a look at the results. And most of you have gone for 3 no trump, 53%, but there are votes for all the other options: 2 no trump, 3 clubs, 3 spades, and 4 spades. So let's have a look at this. Well, when you are playing transfers, the way to show a 5-card major is to transfer to that major and then rebid no trump in general. That's how you show exactly 5 cards in the suit, and your partner will then put you back into the suit if they have 3 or more cards. So here I think I've got 14 points, which is enough for game. So I should, yes, rebid 3 no trump here, not anything else. 2 no trump would be showing fewer points, would be invitational. 3 spades would also be invitational, but showing 6 spades. And 4 spades would be showing at least 6 spades with enough for game. The other bid you could have made, actually, which is part of transfers, is to bid your second suit, 3 clubs. However, in duplicate bridge, it's very rare that you want to introduce a minor suit. When you've got a hand like this South hand, it's normal that you either want to play this in spades if you have an 8-card bit, or otherwise 3 no trump. And 3 clubs could be used perhaps on a more distributional hand to say, as well as 5 spades, I've also got a long club suit, and maybe you ending up in clubs here. But as I think you all know, playing in 5 clubs when 3 no trump is a possibility is often a very poor choice. So I wouldn't bid 3 clubs either. And yes, I agree with most of you, I would bid 3 no trump. On this hand here, North has got 3 spades for you, so should put you back into 4 spades, and that should be the final contract. Any comments on that?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah.
I always get very confused about this. And I thought, I know you've had a lesson on this, but I thought if you have 5 spades, you go to 3 spades, giving your partner a choice of between 4 spades and 3 no trumps, depending on how many spades he's got. If you've got 6 spades, you go to 4. So I'm wrong on that, aren't I?
Well, yes. So it depends whether you want to bid game or whether you want to invite game. And the way you force your partner to game with 5 spades is by rebidding 3 no trump.
Right.
If you had 6 spades, you would bid 4 spades yourself.
Okay, thank you. That's where I got wrong. Yeah.
And then the other bids are invitational. The 2 no trump or 3 spades would be invitational. But here your partner ends up supports you.
No, I mean, it has to be forcing this one. Yeah, thank you.
And you end up in 4 spades.
I might remember now.
I don't know. Obviously, you weren't the only one. There were quite a lot of people who chose something else. So that's why I included this again.
It's always one of those things I always get confused.
Right. Either way, if you're not playing transfers, then you would, with this hand, show exactly a similar hand by jumping to 3 spades. And that shows exactly a 5-card suit. And your partner here would, again, put you in 4 spades. And if we look at how we might play this hand, let's just have a look at it. If we look at our possible losers here, we'll see that we're missing the ace of spades, and we're probably going to lose 2 diamonds, and hopefully that will be it. So whether you play transfers or not, you should play it in 4 spades, and you would expect to make this. So the play on this is pretty straightforward. The opponents will take 2 diamonds. If they play a 3rd diamond, you will ruff it, and then just draw trumps. Don't think about doing anything else first. There's no reason to delay drawing trumps here. Just start by playing the king, say, play another round, and if that forces out the ace, then there's just 1 trump left. Whatever they play now, if they play another diamond, you can ruff that, and then just draw that last trump. I know some people are afraid when they've just got 1 trump left, but it's right, I hope you can see, to draw that last trump, and then the rest of the hand is yours. You've got 4 clubs and 2 hearts. So that one should be relatively straightforward, as long as you draw trump as soon as you can and don't try to do anything else. Let's have a look at another hand here. This time your partner opens 1 no trump, and you've got a nice 6-card heart suit. If you're playing transfers, you'd bid 2 diamonds and pass your partner's 2 hearts. Or if you're not playing transfers, you just sign off in 2 hearts, and that will be the end of the bidding, you think, unless your opponents get in. But here they let you play it in 2 hearts, and let's try and make a plan on this hand and try and figure out what we're going to do. Let's suppose they start with the jack of spades, and let's suppose we play low and they win the jack. Suppose they play the 10. We could try the queen, but we play low again. And let's suppose they play another one, and this time East wins the king, and we ruff that one. So we've gained the lead, and I've got the second pole for you now, which is you've just won the 3rd trick by ruffing with your 2 of hearts. And the question is, which suit are you going to play now? Are you going to play hearts, diamonds, or clubs? And let me launch a poll for that. Which suit are you going to play now? Another minute or two, a few seconds. Okay, I'm going to end the poll and look at the results. And the results were very interesting from my point of view. Most of you said hearts, followed by clubs, and 1 person said diamond. And yeah, and the person who said a diamond, 1 person is right. The rest of you are wrong. If I have a look at the GIB button at this point, you can see that you can make an over trick here if you play a diamond or a club. Now, you can play a club, but it actually doesn't really benefit you in any way to play a club. Maybe you're thinking that you're going to cash 2 clubs and then ruff the clubs, and that's a completely wrong approach here. What you want to do is look at how many losers you have here from the point of view of the hand with a long trump, and see how you can avoid any of those. And you've lost 2 tricks already. And how many more tricks are you going to lose? Well, you're hopefully not going to lose any hearts, and you shouldn't lose any clubs, but you have 3 possible diamonds that you might lose here. And so what you should do on this hand is delay drawing trumps until you have played, until you have ruffed a diamond. So playing a diamond is the right thing to do here. I mean, it could work out that playing clubs may help you, might establish a trick there, but really the best line here is to switch immediately to playing diamonds. And you need to do that before you've drawn trumps, or you won't have any trumps in dummy to ruff that 3rd diamond. So what you should do is play a low diamond. I know it's very hard to deliberately lose a trick. Now, the defense will win this, and if I bring up the 4 hands, you should see that they should probably realize that why are you playing this way? presumably because you have a one or more diamonds you want to ruff. So the opponent should shift to a trump. The opponent should play a heart. Okay, you win that and carry on with your plan of playing diamonds. They get in again, and again they should play another trump to try to stop you ruffing diamonds. However, you still have one more trump left in dummy, and you can now use that to ruff your last diamond with. So what you play now is you play your ruff your last diamond, and now there's still one trump out, so you want to get back to your hand in order to draw the last trump. And if you were paying attention, you would see that West has no more trump here, so you could try to get back with a spade ruff. Now, you're not ruffing here to make any extra tricks. You're ruffing just to get back to your hand so that you can now draw the last trump and you'll claim the last three tricks, 2 clubs and a heart. So I thought that was very interesting, that well, only one person found the right line there, but it is possible to make 9 tricks there. The problem if you start drawing trumps on this hand is that if you draw even one round of trumps and then try to play on diamonds, the opponents can get in and can draw trumps as they get in with each diamond and can prevent you ruffing any diamond. So I think it's so important here to focus on your losers from the point of view of the hand with a long trump suit and realize that you can get rid of one diamond loser by ruffing, and that means delaying drawing trumps. Anyone have any comments or questions on that? Okay. So let's have a look at another one then. And here we're ended up in a 4-heart contract. We bid 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 clubs, and North here did well to support my hearts. Even though they've got better support for the clubs, I should be showing 5 hearts and at least 4 clubs, so they should support my hearts. They've got something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points. So they jump to 3 hearts, and we end up in a good contract of 4 hearts, I hope. And the opponents lead the Jack of Spades. And before we go any further, I'd like you to work out how many potential losers you have here. How many likely losers do you think you have? And then we'll work out how we're going to play this. So I'll launch a poll in a moment. And the question is, how many likely losers do you think you have? And most of you have gone for 3, with 20% going for 4. And yes, I agree with most of you. It looks like the way to count your losers is to look at the hand from the point of view of the hand with the long trumps, which is your hand in this case. And I can see I'm going to lose a spade. Hearts, I probably will just lose 1 heart. As long as the hearts don't divide badly for me, I should be able to, if they divide 3-2, I will just lose 1. I have 1 heart to lose, no diamonds to lose, and a club to lose. I'm missing the ace. So yes, I make it that we hope to make 3, we hope to lose just 3 tricks, and we'll make 4 hearts as long as we don't get any bad division, especially in trump. So let's have a look and see how this goes. They win the first trick, and we play a second round, and we ruff that. Now, we're now going to, let's suppose we start by drawing trumps here, and we play the ace and the king. Now, if everyone follows to this, we're now in good shape because there's now just 1 high trump out. And as I often say, it's a very good idea not to draw it, just leave it out. In fact, we're going to play this hand 2 different ways and look at what happens if we actually try and draw this last trump, which is a mistake. Let's bring up the 4 hands as we do this. And if we make a mistake of playing another round of trumps, the opponents will get in, and let's suppose they play a spade. Let's suppose they play the 10 of spades. And if we want to win that, we'll have to ruff it with our very last trump. And we have no more trumps now. And the problem on this hand is that we haven't set up the clubs yet. We're still going to lose a trick to the ace of clubs. So if we play clubs now, the opponents will get in, and because we have no more trump, they'll be able to cash a spade trick. After that, whatever they play will get in, but we'll go down one trick there. And that was because we lost control of trump. How should we play this? Well, if we go back to the point here, where we've just drawn 2 rounds of trump, the way to make this now is to leave that last trump out. Just don't bother to draw it, and instead go about our business of setting up the club. So we'll play the clubs here, just as we did before. The opponents will get in. West, actually, a good thing for West to play now that they're in is actually to play their queen of hearts to get rid of 2 of our trump. But we still have a trump left. So whatever they play here, we can ruff that last one. And now the rest of our hand is good. All the trumps are gone, and we've got 2 diamonds and 3 clubs. So played that way, we would make our contract there. So that is a very important thing to remember. If there's one high trump out, it's very often right to leave it out. Don't draw it, and just go about your other business. There might have been another way to make this contract. Another way to do it might have been to try and force out the ace of clubs earlier on. Although there's a risk there, although not on this hand, not on this layout, that if you play the clubs early, they might continue clubs and get a ruff if you haven't touched trump yet. So the way I played it, really by cashing 2 rounds and then stopping, is really the best way to play this one. Do stop me if you have any comments or questions on it. And I've got a, let me just check that. Yeah, I've got a last hand to look at here. And here West opened a weak 2, North doubled, which was for takeout, East passed, and South here, I think South should bid spades here. And they've got a pretty good hand with 11 points. They're expecting their partner's double to be close to an opening hand. So I think you should bid at least 3 spades, Ed. Bidding 2 spades would be a mistake because you might have no points at all to bid 2 spades. So you bid 3 spades and your partner raises you to 4 spades. And they lead the king of hearts. Down comes dummy, and I'd like you to try to make a plan about how you're going to play this. What's the best way to make the most tricks that you can? So have a little think about it. And in a minute, I'm going to launch a poll with some options as to how you're going to play it. And the options I'm going to give you are to either start by winning the first trick and then drawing trumps straight away, or are you going to plan to ruff hearts in dummy, or are you going to plan to ruff diamonds in your own hand, or are you going to try to cross ruff, ruffing hearts and diamonds? So have a little think about those options, and if you have no questions, in a little while I will launch a poll and give you the options as to how to play this hand. And most of you have gone for cross ruffing hearts and diamonds, followed by ruffing diamonds, followed by ruffing hearts, and one person said draw trumps first. Well, let's have a look at this. We're going to look at this hand actually played a couple of different ways. And let's look at the possibility of cross ruffing here. So you have the ideal situation in the red suits that you can cross ruff diamonds and hearts. the only problem here is that if you do keep ruffing, you will shorten your trump holding in both hands, and you will be unable to draw the opponent's trumps. Someone's got at least 3 trump here, and you need to keep 3 trumps at least to draw the opponent's trumps. If you don't draw the opponent's trumps, you won't be able to cash your clubs. You're hoping to make 4 club tricks here, so you really need to draw trumps at some point. Now, if you look at this from your hand's point of view, what you can see in your hand is how many losers. No spade losers, but you've got these 3 heart losers, and maybe you might think of ruffing those in dummy. You've got no diamond losers and hopefully no club losers. And you've got something very similar if you instead look at it from the point of view of the north hand. You've got no spade losers, no heart losers, no club losers, you hope, but you've got these 3 diamond losers. So this hand, I think the cross ruff probably won't work well. We'll look at how it would go if you try to cross ruff. But looking at it, either choosing to ruff diamonds in your own hand or hearts in dummy, I think ruffing diamonds in your own hand is much better, because you're hoping to ruff these 3 diamonds, and you'll be able to ruff at least a couple of them with low trump. Whereas if you wanted to ruff 3 hearts, you'd be ruffing with high trump, okay? And you'd then only have 2 high trumps left, the ace and the king, and be unable to draw the opponent's trumps. So yes, I think ruffing diamonds in your own hand is the best option. And I wouldn't draw trumps either, because it's going to take 3 rounds to draw the opponent's trumps, I assume, and we'll be left with these losers in diamonds, and we'll only be able to ruff 1 of them. So that's going to be my plan. I'm going to make north the master hand, use the good trumps in the north hand to draw the opponent's trumps mainly, and to try to ruff these 3 low diamonds in my own hand. And it's worth thinking about the likely distribution in diamonds. We've got 5 diamonds here, so the opponents have got 8. And you hope those are either divided 4-4 or maybe 5-3 is more likely. And if they are divided 5-3, someone's only got 3 diamonds, that last diamond, you might need to ruff that high. So that's going to be our thought. We're going to see if we can ruff these 3 diamonds, 2 of them with low trumps, and the 3rd one with the king of spades. And we'll keep our trumps in the north hand for drawing the opponent's trump. So let's try and put this all into practice. We'll win that first trick, and we'll immediately start on diamonds. That was our plan. We'll play another diamond, which we ruff low. And now we want to get back to the north hand so we can ruff another diamond. So maybe we can do that with a club there. That looks reasonably safe, I hope. And we play another diamond, which we ruff low. Now, if we can get away with that and no one has over-ruffed, we're now in good shape, because we now just have 1 last diamond to ruff. And we're probably going to ruff that with the king. So given that there's only 1 more ruff we want, we can actually get back to the north hand with a trump and then ruff that last diamond, and we'll ruff that with the king. Okay, and now we're in good shape. Now all we need to do is to get back to the north hand in order to finish drawing trumps. There's a couple of ways you could do that. You could try getting back there with the queen of clubs, or because you or you could try a heart ruff. Now, our goal here isn't really to ruff hearts, except we're ruffing a heart to get back to the north hand so we can now draw the opponent's last trump. So if I bring up the 4 hands, you can see there are, I'll be able to draw the last trumps with the queen and jack, and then my clubs are good. I'll be able to take my last clubs, and I will make actually all 13 tricks on this hand. So I just did that by ruffing the diamonds, and that was really the better option here. If you try cross ruffing, it doesn't work out so well. Let's go with the option that most of you chose, which was cross ruffing. And we're going to aim, in other words, to ruff diamonds and to ruff hearts. So let's see if we can do that. We'll start by playing the ace of diamonds and ruffing a diamond, and then maybe playing a heart, which we can ruff, okay? Playing another diamond, and we ruff that just as we did before. And we now play another heart, and we're going to ruff this high. I mean, it's sort of fortunate in a way that we have to ruff this high, or if we had a low trump, it could have got over after we played it, but we have to play a high trump there. And when we do that, we've actually now lost control of the trump suit. And we've only got 2 trump left in each hand, in the north and the south hands, whereas East has got 3 trump. So although we've got good clubs and good trump, we won't be able to draw the opponent's trumps, which we need to do before we cash the club. So let's suppose you now ruff your last diamond and you ruff high here, just as you did before. Now, things look good, except you can't draw trumps here. And whatever happens, East will gain 1 more trick. So if instead you start trying to cash your clubs, and then maybe drawing 1 round of trump, you won't be able to go much further. You can draw another trump, but East now has an extra trump, and you'll never be able to cash your clubs here. You can cash 1 round, but when you play another club, East ruffs and can play the queen of diamonds, and you'll only make 11 tricks there by trying to cross ruff. So these kinds of hands where there's a possibility of ruffing in both hands, you do need to think about the different options, whether you want to cross ruff. Here, cross ruffing is not such a good idea because you need to cash your clubs, and it's much better to make 1 hand here, the north, the master hand as it's called, and use the small trumps in the south hand for ruffing. And played that way, you should be able to make 13, whereas playing any other way, you will never make as many tricks. Anyone have any comments or questions on that? I hope you found that interesting.
If you're in that situation where they've got more trumps than you, is it a good idea to let them trump something so then you can pull their last 2?
Yes, I mean, perhaps we could have done better at the end. I don't know. Let's see. Let's get back to the stage where, say, a stage like this, right? And let's see. If they so you might, at this point, you've just got 2 trump left. You can't draw the opponent's trumps. Mm-hmm. The problem is here that if we play as we did, playing in clubs, letting them ruff, they are so sorry. At this point here, if we were to play another club,
yes,
West would actually ruff, and East would still have more trumps than us. Okay.
Well, no, I mean, if you play a high club.
Yeah, let's do that. So we'll play a club, and now this hand's going to ruff. Okay. And we still are going to lose another trump here, aren't we?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the wrong hand ruff.
Yeah.
It could have worked out, and you might have made 12 tricks, I think, if East, the hand with the 3 trumps, had ruffed.
Yeah.
Then you'd may be able to draw trumps and not lose any more. But really, cross ruffing was not a good idea on this hand. It's quite a subtle difference. I mean, if I hadn't had all these good clubs, if I just had, say, the ace and king of clubs, then cross ruffing could have been a good option. And I could have worked well. But here, because I want to cash 4 clubs, I can't do that unless I draw trumps. Any other comments or questions? I hope you found that useful. We'll stop sharing my screen there, and let me just do that. And if anyone needs a partner for this afternoon's game, you can speak up now.